All right. Back on the scene like a record machine. Saying oop papa doop, how y'all doing? It's your boy Kato here, and you tuned in to the one on one with Kato Hammond. And like I say, I'm back on the scene. We bringing this platform back up to continue us people in our community that letting us bringing us to tell our stories. And this particular episode right here got a real special guest on that's going to join me today, and we're going to talk about a little thing. Some of you may recognize her. A lot of you should already recognize her, but some of you may recognize her. You know, once again, she's back on the scene like a record machine. She's saying "oop, papa, doop, how you doing?" as well. And if you don't
Is that what I said?
remember, if before you even come in, before I even say something to you, if you don't even remember her, let me give you something that kind of can refresh your memory just a little bit, maybe, you know.
99, 99, 99, 99, 99, 99, 99.
Wow.
Got me grooving. Okay, got me grooving, like, flashbacking. Right now, I want to introduce you to a very, very dear friend and family, somebody who's I've worked with. We've worked together on many projects over the years, and we brought her here because she got a brand new project that I'm excited to tell each and everybody about and share with you so you can follow that. But let's welcome right here, before I say anything, first of all, yeah, unmute yourself. Let's welcome Tahira Chloe Madhi, who
Thank you. That was a mute.
okay,
Just
great.
I
I
didn't
was
know if it was an echo or something. So trying to be polite. I
okay.
learned that the hard way about the echo.
Hey, look, whatever hiccups we gonna deal with, we just gonna deal with it. That all comes with the territory, and we just gonna ride over them like a speed bump, and like
Hey,
it don't exist. Well, I ain't gonna say
like
like it
how
don't
you taught
exist.
me.
Yeah, we just if we gotta slow down with it, then we're just gonna slow down with it. And back it up and put it in reverse and put it back in drive, and that's how we're gonna keep things alive. Now, however, however, first of all, before we go even further, I wanna, if I can get you to say one thing for me, and it starts off with one time. That's all I'm gonna say is one time. If you can fill in the rest of that blank, I know we're on the right page, and we're gonna do it like it's supposed to be done.
One time for your
Let's go.
mind is 99. Chilling with Kato on the one and one.
All right, all the cotton picking time. One time for your mind. It's Asian 99. Look here. Now, like I say, we brought her here, and I'm happy to see her. We brought her here because she has just recently, first of all, before I want to say, she has just recently released a new book. Now, I want to say this is a third book. This is a third book that's an installment of books she released. So let's refresh some memories. Let's take it back to what, 2001, when she released the book entitled "God Laughs Too," incidents in the life of a black chick, and that was 2001. That was,
Yep.
wow, that's 20 years ago when that
It was
first book
22
was
years
released.
ago. Yeah. Yeah.
22 years ago. Okay, and then after that book came, there was another book that came around 2005 entitled "How to Be Queen of the Universe," which was a very, very, very interesting book. It was basically like, what would you call that?
It's self help.
Self help, right?
Self
A
help.
book for, it was a book for women that every
Hmm.
woman should call. Have, what was the slogan for every woman? It's called "But Few Have the Guts to Speak Up and Take That Throne." All right, T has taken that throne in 2005, and she's right back again, right back on the scene. And here we are in 2023, and she just released a book, and I can't wait to. Oh man, just looking at the cover, I can't wait to get into this one. But the title of this book is entitled, and I'm gonna let you do some talking. I just want to do some quick introduction. But the title of this book is "This Is Not How It Was Supposed to Go," a novel by Tahira Madhi. Um, and want to say thank you for taking a moment out of your time to come in to the one-on-one to discuss this awesome book
I was about to
and
say, yeah, what
introduce.
adjective you about to use? Because but thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. This is my first
Yeah,
interview about this book. I'm so glad it's with you.
right.
And yeah, I'm just excited to talk to you about it because you are very instrumental in my drafts of the book and giving me feedback so I could get it tight to where it's supposed to be. So thank you.
Right. So that day has come, and now it has been. It was just released just a week ago. How's
Yeah.
it been?
Yeah, it's like a
Just a
week
week
ago.
ago.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and just saying right now that it's available. You can grab it online at Amazon. We'll get the direct link, or you can just go to Amazon and type in her name in the title. But it's also available where else?
Is Barnes and Noble, and the way the setup goes, you can go to your favorite bookstore and order it and get it.
Okay, all
And it
right.
would be great if you did that. So, it's good for sales, good if you go to your different bookstores and have them order it. So maybe they keep a copy in the store and somebody would see that crazy cover and pick it up.
Yeah, okay. And that's the whole thing. I got a couple to get into, but and that cover is definitely a thing. As a matter of fact, let me put that cover back up here because I want to go into the cover right now. I want to go into this cover of. I guess the first question I want to ask is, "This is not how it was supposed to go." Exactly what does that title mean? And explain this cover to me, because I gotta admit it's kind of messy. So that's intentional. I'm assuming. Well, of course, because I mean this
Yeah,
isn't you. Okay, all right. So
it
what
is
exactly was that
intentional.
title mean? Okay.
So the title really means that even when I was trying to write this book, I wanted to write a book based on my research. My
Uh-huh.
dissertation research was with the go-go community. I developed a new concept of how scholars can look at communities or people relating to all that kind of academic stuff. But I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to write a fictional story that would illustrate what I really meant by that. Oh, hey, Deidre, love you too. And that's what I wanted to write. But by the middle of the second chapter, I was like, wow, this is not hey Rella. I was like, this is not how it's going. Like the character she took a turn and she went way off the track. So this is really like, this book is not how this was supposed to go. I didn't intend to write about any of this stuff. And also that's a statement made by the character and her mother at two different points in the book. Like, this is not how this was supposed to go. And when I was
Mm-hmm.
trying to describe, so my husband, Chris, is actually a graphic designer. So of course, when I got people around who can do this kind of stuff, I'm like, help me out, help me, do this graphic design. So I'm using this to tell him, I said, I needed to be messy. I needed to look like somebody going crazy. And once I did it, he was like, that's it. You should just leave it like that. So it was like, this certainly describes how messy this girl's life is.
Okay. Can you hold up to the camera once a little tighter? Because I want to get into the details. I'll pull the picture back up because there's really some
Okay.
details in the cover, and I'll pull the picture back up
Mhm.
as well. But if you look at
Okay.
details in the cover, where it looked like there's music note. First of all, it looked like an individual. I'm gonna assume that it's a woman, and she has on
That's a woman.
a graduation cap. So apparently a young woman who just graduating. I'm assuming high school. I don't know. Well, I do know, but I'm just gonna act like I haven't read it yet. Okay, and as well. But what I'm saying also, what it looked like a music notes, and
And a blunt.
I'm
That's
not
a
sure if
blunt.
that's a blunt. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was a
My mom
cigarette
said, "What's that?" I said, "You know what
or a
that
match.
is."
No, I wasn't
Well,
sure. I wasn't sure if it was a cigarette, a
no,
match,
that's what I'm saying. I was saying my
or
mother asked me what it was, and I'm like, you know what that is because she read the book. So this is not a young
uh,
woman who just graduated from college. She's 32. She's 32 and just
oh,
graduated from college. So
all right.
the book starts off where she, this is a big life accomplishment, but she also wanted to go to graduate school, and she just got rejected from all the graduate schools she applied to. She's depressed. She got to move back home with her mother at age 32, and that's really the overall or the overarching theme or conflict in the story is like, what does
Mm,
that feel like? And we see the decisions she makes because, as she says, she's depressed, she's dead inside, so she spends the rest of the summer trying to make herself feel good, and all these adventures happen because of that.
okay. Um. uh, Okay. What's the first question I want to ask based on what you just said? What part of the book gave you the hardest time in writing? What
the
part of the
pool
story?
party the pool party. So without giving any spoilers, so this takes place over a summer. So of course I'm thinking of all these summer adventures people could have. I got to a pool party, and this also, hey mom, this also demonstrates like how this was not how it was supposed to go, because I'm trying to push her two different characters. And this writers write about this sometimes, and I didn't understand it till I was smack in the middle of it. They do what they want to do. Once you set them up as characters and kind of let them start talking to you and doing their own thing, they were doing their own thing. I wanted her to get with this person. She was like, no, I want this person. But then that person didn't want to get with her. So the pool party took me like 3 days to write. Um, and it still wasn't as steamy as I wanted it to be, but that gave me, and that's how I realized, okay, they're going to do their own thing, and I just need to sit back and let it flow, just kind of like be that conduit for the story they're trying to tell me.
And it took you 3 days to finally give in, you say? Or
To write that pool party scene. So it's just one chapter. I'm calling it a scene because I also write screenplays. So to me, things also like a scene. But that one chapter took me 3 days because I'm trying to make them do stuff that they didn't want to do. So
uh,
they taught me it's their show. I'm just here to tell their story.
okay. Um, which part of the
What are you thinking of?
no? Because I'm trying to figure out the order to ask. What part of the book was the most fun to write? Were you able to? And let me explain why I'm asking this. I think I'm asking this because as a writer myself, how sometimes when you write, and first of all, the book is written in first person, correct? Okay.
Yes, it is written in
So
first person.
so was it? Did you find yourself falling into, just like if you was a actress in a movie, falling into character as you falling into the story, or you were able to separate? And I'm not. I want to make sure my questions understood. Or you was able to separate yourself from the character. Either way, which part of it was more fun for you that you just, oh man, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this.
This is a little bit embarrassing, but okay. So it's music throughout. So you pointed out how on the cover is music notes. Um,
Mhm.
so for it's three different scenes in the book, at least three, where there's sex happening. And yes, Tay, stubborn characters. So there's sex happening, but you know how I put music in it because I want music to be a big part of it. So what I had to do was once I hear the song, hey Shanice, once I hear the song in my head, I gotta play it to see like how long does this song take? What is happening while this song is going on? So when I was playing Reasons by Earth, Wind and Fire, I had to keep playing it and see and getting into the character. What is happening? She had another scene where John B's album Bonafide was playing. So I had to listen to that album. How long does that take? Mary J. Blige's My Life album. And then that album, I really enjoyed listening to that. And I was writing a sex scene. The sex was not going very well in that. So I went into like a very bad time. But that got me hooked on the Mary J. Blige's My Life album. So I was playing that in the car for like about a month afterwards. So I would say maybe writing, I don't know, anything that had to do with music in the book, you'll tell that I had a really good time because I had to listen to those songs to write it.
So you was okay. So you were playing those songs, and those songs really did.
Mark.
It's interesting you say that because those songs really they help play the when I play a song something it really helps me write that scene even more. Was it helping with that or was it distracting?
No, it helped because like when you say you get into the character, if she's telling me this is what's playing at this time, and a song like Reasons, so I use Reasons for an example. So if they play Reasons on the radio, any DJs from Donnie Simpson to whoever the guy was that was on 95.9 last time I heard it on that station, they introduced it as this is the greatest love song ever. But Reasons is about a one night stand or it's about cheating on somebody. Either way, it's about doing something you're not supposed to do. So I wanted that to kind of, that does not necessarily reflected in the song, but it's not a love song. It's a lust song. It's about lust. So
Wait a minute, is it? I never knew that.
like think about when he's saying if you can't find the reasons, you wake up in the morning no longer feeling hypnotized. Oh, I can't find the reasons. Like, why did we do this? And I didn't know until I found myself in it. You ever be dating somebody or you meet somebody or whatever, a song you could have heard a million times. You didn't think about it. It's a nice song, whatever, until one day you're listening to the lyrics and you go, oh shoot, that's me and so-and-so. Whether it gives you a good feeling or if you're about to break up with somebody, you like, dang, you right. Just like this song. When I heard Lauryn Hill's X Factor, I was like, yeah, you right. It may be time to break up with this. You know what I mean? Like certain songs will put you in it. One time I heard Reasons and I was like, oh, and it took, I was like, that's what that song means. And as a matter of fact, they have put it out there. Like Philip Bailey, I think, I don't even know which website was brave enough to put it on there. Like, that's what it's about. Because when you listen to the lyrics, and when you think about if you're having a one night stand, if you're cheating on your partner, you're trying to find reasons to, you know, make that connection. And then once you do it, the next morning he's like, can I find the reasons? In the morning when I rise, no longer feeling hypnotized, I find my reasons had no pride. So listening to the people don't listen to lyrics a whole lot, especially that with that song. Cause I was like, really? People use that as wedding songs and stuff. I was like, that's kind of wow. Not unless that's how y'all met or got together. Then that's really cute, I
guess. Look. I'm just sitting there now with myself going on. I'm just sitting there going over the lyrics in my head. Now, temperature's rising. I don't want to feel I'm in the wrong place to be real. Oh,
I'm in the wrong place for real.
And when I kissing and hugging and holding you tight, just let me love you with all my mind. Okay, okay. All right, I hear you. Okay.
Yeah, no, listen to the lyrics. But that's what I'm saying. If you ever found yourself in that situation, you know. Because that I didn't know till I was like, oh, when I'm in my own mind looking for some reasons. It was like, oh, that's with that. Yes, Tiago is dripping with drama.
That and that's the thing I want to pull up. Matter of fact, I'm glad Tiago said that because some of the promos up there is like, okay, like this one I'm gonna share with a few of them. This one here say it's so messy. I mean, I mean, like, you know what I'm saying, dripping with the ice cream cone in the hand, a tale of sex secrets and total chaos. You know what I'm saying? Where this one here reads, this one here just basically says sex, you know, murder secrets. What murder? You know what I'm saying? Deliciously naughty. I mean, these are very teasing. Yeah, these are very teasing definitions that you're giving it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and what did you think? Is that a description that you read it? So
Yeah, I guess that would be. I guess that would. No,
Like
they
I
are very
guess.
good descriptions. I didn't look at them like
Okay.
that. I mean, me personally, but I don't disagree with it at all. Especially when we're talking about who the target audience. Now, who is your target and audience?
My you know what's so funny about target audiences, just like with God Laughs too, I had a
Uh
specific
huh.
target audience. This is young women, women from like 16 to 30. Um, and I just like really saw that, but so many men hit me up like, even when they could contact me, oh, I loved your book. It felt like I was talking to one of my homegirls, whatever. And I realized what a large male audience I had for that book. So even one of the other deliberate
Right.
things about this cover, if you look at the color of it, I pictured dudes like on a train, on a bus. And if I put like a high heel shoe, like a stiletto on a cover, like they don't want to read something like that. Read something like this so it don't look
Right.
like you reading a woman's book. I think men would love this too. So I guess I would say 25 to 55. But every time I say that, I meet a woman who's over 55 who's like, oh, I love, juicy novels like that. So anybody who wants to read a book that makes them go, ooh, you know, that's the target audience. It's not about any issues. I go to Barnes and Noble, a whole lot of those books are like there's a fictional story about racism at the office, or a woman who is victimized in this kind of way. And not that we don't need that kind of stuff, but I want to read nothing like that. I don't want to write nothing like that. So this is entertainment purposes only. You will be entertained,
Okay. Would
men
you
and
call it?
women.
Is it? Let's see. Is it Hallmark Channel entertaining or BET entertaining?
BET entertain.
BET entertaining. Okay.
Absolutely.
If
This
you
is
understand, you
independent
understand.
movie, huh?
So it's Tubi TV entertainment. Tubi
Yeah, I don't
Tubi.
have Tubi, but yeah, think
Okay.
about like some messy stuff,
Uh-huh.
some messy stuff. That's what it is.
Okay. Okay. So it's a page turner so far. It was a page turner for me. I'm gonna really say that. It definitely was a page turner for me. Um, I'm trying to think where
Yeah, what
else.
made it a page turner for you? Because you're in a position right now to tell people what made it a page turner.
Well, for me, well for me, it's urban. I'm highly attracted to anything urban, and it's interesting when you put your spin on it. And I don't want to get into the men and women thing, but you raise a good point about the whole cover thing because the way you describe it, I guess is the way a woman would describe it, and I think the way a guy would describe it who's into urban things. I'm seeing the urban things about it, you know, um, not necessarily any romance, a lot of steamy stuff, but not
Oh no, it ain't
Hallmark
no
romance.
it ain't romance
Yeah,
at all. No,
yeah,
I didn't say
yeah,
that. I said it's messy stuff. I said it's BET is a bunch of mess,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it ain't
yeah,
nothing
yeah.
wrong. But you know what?
And
I thought about that. Somebody might find that romantic. So remember Nina's quote. Thank you, Nina Brown, for reviewing it and give me something. When she called it a sexy murder mystery thriller love story, I was like,
uh,
oh wow, like what? So I saw love in a different way, but for all I know somebody might see one of those men that she was with as a in love kind of way. Like I don't know, I would
right,
love to know what more people think.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and I guess that's what would be the good part too. The fact that it's only been released a week ago. Um, I guess just waiting to hear back what kind of reviews. Some people don't review and some will immediately hit you with a review. Now here's a question: do you plan on taking this to audiobook?
That would be great, and I would
The
definitely hire
Audible.
some. Yeah, I would like to do that because I do believe in if I'm not saying if the reviews are good, if they are or not, but I like when people who need audiobooks for whatever reason they need them for, it would be available to them. But I also dream of coming up with the money to hire somebody to be a voice actor for it. So
Oh, really? Okay, you wouldn't
yeah,
do it yourself. Okay.
this is not my voice. Like she has a Southern accent. Hi, Charlene. Yes, please check it out. But she has the woman in the book for me has a Southern accent, so it sounds
Ah,
to me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
okay.
I want somebody who
Ah,
naturally has
okay.
a Southern accent. I don't want nobody who, you know how they hire people in movies and they just talk
Yeah,
like this the whole time. And you're like, come on
yeah,
now.
yeah,
I
yeah,
want
yeah,
somebody
yeah.
who has a Southern accent who can read it the way I hear it in my head.
Like my girl Journey Smollett,
She has a Southern accent?
she can give you anything you want. You know that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
hey,
remember.
hearing that.
Remember. She said East Bayou. She had the Southern
Right.
accent in East Bayou. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm thinking of who I can afford. Like, I'm
No,
not going to put
I
that
know,
in
but
the possibility.
remember, I know, I understand that, but remember, also remember when people, I know me, so I believe it. A lot of people, when they reading stuff, they're picturing what they're picturing in their head of
Right.
what they're normally used to or what they hear. So soon as you said Southern accent, I don't know, for some reason, just her voice popped in my head like, okay, I hear that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That kind of thing. All right. All
Mhm.
right, all right. So, but you definitely will go that route with it. Okay.
Yeah, I got to save up some money first, or if anybody's volunteering, like I don't know, but I believe in paying people for their work, so
Of course.
uh,
Well, yeah,
yeah,
of
we gonna
course.
see. We'll see.
Right.
I'm gonna put that on the vision board.
Okay.
Yeah, Diego.
Everybody do. Okay. Uh. Okay. But yeah, that's the whole thing. All right. Let's see. And I just want to ask you some author questions, just some because the point that's going to really help sell the book even more is, of course, selling you in general. So, I just want to ask you straight author book, author, and then whatever come to mind. But no, before I do that, no, forget this. No. All right, what's the difference? Do you see? Okay, you got the guys between a writer and an author. Do you
um,
see? Do you see? And which one will you put yourself under as the author of this book?
I think authors have like books, I guess. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Sometimes I'll say writer and author, but like my bio in the back is like writer of books, screenplays, and music blogs. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't.
Okay, I didn't
This is
mean to
like a
throw that
really
question.
smart question. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
I went to school
Uh,
for a million years to not have to answer.
well,
Like I
can I
don't
tell you
know
what I kind of think a difference
what.
is, and we can kind of just expand on that. I
Yeah.
think I think an I think a writer has to stick to the rules of writing, and the author does more just being artistic with it. I mean, what you think?
You know what's funny? Now that you're saying that, I would flip it. Oh,
Really?
thanks, man. Hey, man, I ain't seen her in so long. Um,
Hey, man. All right.
yeah, but you know what? I keep thinking like a writer, but then if I say creative writer, because think about how I was writing the DC Brand 99 blog. One has more feel
Mm-hmm.
than the other. To have both is powerful. See, Diego always dropping them jewels like that. Um, yeah, I don't know. You know what's so funny? Another thing that I learned from writing this book that Roshan taught me was about judging, like how we see different things. I had to dispel a whole lot of my judgment of people's actions, how some people grew up, all that kind of stuff. Where I'm listening
Mm-hmm.
to her talk or her mother talk, and I can't believe, like clutching my pearls is writing, but I can't clutch pearls and type at the same time. It's like, am I going to tell this story or not? And I was like, all right, I got to go for it. I got to tell this story. But I also had to suspend judgment, because just like in any other conversations you have with people, if they come to you and you're the type of person who's going to judge everything they do, they're not going to tell you everything. So you gotta, let people know I'm not judging you the same way I would with anybody else. Let this character know I'm not judging you. So she'll tell me everything that's going on. So that's how I learned what was in her head, where Mark said the stuff that was going on in her head tripped him out. And I'm like, yeah, I got to get in on that. So that was cool.
And so Roshan became definitely a real person to you. And with that being in mind, are there any plans of writing a sequel? Or, can there be? I mean, I guess you have to even read it to see if a sequel is even plausible. But if so, I mean, have you been introduced to that character so much that you wouldn't like to see where she continues in her journey? Because it's her journey. I mean, it's a journey for her, really.
It's definitely a journey for her. And at the end, I don't think it's a spoiler to let people know that when you get to the end, there's a question like, is that the end of her story? But the person who's talking to me, right, the person who's talking to me most now is actually her friend Kaya. So if you remember in the book, she had a best friend named Kaya. And that's the person to me who's giving me more information about her life, almost like she wants to tell her story. Just like music, Kato, one that reads music versus one that play by ear. Yeah. But
right.
Mm-hmm.
Charlene is asking, I guess the title of the book. Can we hold the title up again of the book?
Okay.
Wait a minute. Yeah, I'll put it up as well. This
is not how it was supposed to.
Yeah, this is not how it was supposed. This was shouting. This is not how it was supposed to go. Currently, definitely available. You can go to Amazon right now and type it. You can even type like it's to type in her name, or or the title of the book. You are so welcome, Charlene.
Yeah,
Charlene's real good people. Love her.
I can tell. Yeah, even if you type my name in, because if you like my mom's was like, what's that book? It ain't supposed to be that way. She was, and I was even trying to tell somebody else. I was like, that is not how this was supposed. Like I had forgotten the title like a month ago. So
I had almost, even when I was making a promo, I had almost, remember we was going back over to fix the edit anyway. But one, I thought I was good because I first had, this is not how it's supposed to be. What I'm saying? So I'm like, oh no, this is not how it's supposed to go, and all that kind of thing. As a writer, have you ever considered, because keep in mind one thing that it hasn't been mentioned here, but Tahira is has her PhD, so we should be calling her doctor. You know what I'm saying? But I guess for author purpose, and there's a point of bringing this up too, because have you ever considered writing under a pseudonym? Why not?
Lord have mercy. So you bring that up. First of all, I did feel myself shrug. I got two of my sister docs watching. What's up, Tay? What's up, Rella? Dr. Stocks and Dr. Cupid are watching me. And what I don't want, I want to, we're the sister docs. We even have a podcast, Sister Docs Exhale. But so I don't want to just shrug it off like that wasn't a huge accomplishment for me. You see, I'm gonna read Chris, writers versus authors. Authors are published, writers are not necessarily published. Oh, okay. Thanks, honey. See, that's my husband. Anyway, but yeah, I'm glad you asked me that question.
Shout out to Chris, the hubby. That's the hubby. Okay. Man. All right.
Yeah, see, but that's an example. But that's an example. Like when we got married, he was cool with us doing like Mr. and Doctor instead of Mr. and Mrs., stuff like that. Thanks, Charlene. But like, it was weird because when I put it out, like I'm good and everything, but I automatically was like, what are people going to think? Because I have a whole professional, I'm a community psychologist. I give presentations, I do workshops. I evaluate people's programs. I have this other realm, and I'm saying it's other, but then I had to remember, like when I was in grad school, and my mental health was like in the toilet, but part of how I figured out why it was that way was because I was living two different lives. I was in DC 3 nights a week. I was doing DC Brand 99. I'm 99 over here with Team I Go Go. And then I'm this person trying to learn how to be an academic over here. But once I said, there's not two different parts of me. This is me. That's who I am. And it had to be a kind of, excuse my French, but a kind of fuck it attitude to get through that. And I felt a whole lot better because of it. So I just went through maybe like the last 2 or 3 weeks, the same thing. Like, doctor, okay, I can't let them, not saying can't let them know, but it was like having that little bit of anxiety about not what people want to say. That's not necessarily it, but just feeling like there's two different sides of me. And then having to be reminded, and thank you to everybody who's watching right now, who was some of the people who reminded me, like, I'm not two different people. This is all me. And it does take, thank God my partner is the type of person he is, who was like, fuck them. And I'm like, sometimes that's all you need is the right person to say that to you, and for you to just, keep on walking forward. So even when you ask me, are you supposed to put doctor when you announce the show? And I'm like, no, not really, because I'm not doing this in an academic way. If this was an academic thing, absolutely put doctor right there. I've started my first class of the semester yesterday. I told the students I am Professor Madhi or Dr. Madhi. Like, don't call me my first name. I'm not Miss whatever. So, but it's just different. That's one of those arenas where I would demand that kind of thing because that's what it entails in that situation. And not everybody even feels that way. But yeah, that's just the difference there. LFG. What's LFG?
Yeah, what's LFG?
I'm all
Let's. You said it. Let's fucking.
yes. Tay, thank you for reminding me. Yes. Dr. Stocks gave me a reminder. LFG.
All right. Okay, thanks, Charlene. Man, then you mentioned now. I go there a little bit. You mentioned students and all. What advice would you give to a writer that's working on their first book?
Great question. First of all, just keep writing. Even if you put it down for a while, stuff happens, whatever. That's right, Dr. Stocks. If you just keep going, because I think what we try to do a lot of times is edit as we're writing, because we're like, that's what I was starting to do with this. Like, oh, I can't write that. Oh, I think this is leading this way. I don't really want to go there, whatever. If somebody's talking to you, if this is a real character in your head, let them tell it, because most of writing anyway is editing. Like, you getting it out, you still got to go back. I had to go back at least 20 times through this thing to get it where I wanted to go. So get it out. That's all it is. Get it out. The other thing I would say is make that decision whether you're really going off your own life or if you're writing about a character. So like my first book, God Laughs Too, that was most definitely based on real situations that happened to me. I could, as Frank McCraw said, sprinkle some yeast on it and, let it do something else. But I know what the basis of it was. This book here was totally, it's not Wookiees and stormtroopers, but it was characters that were made up that are telling me what's going on. Is there going to be a sequel? All right, let me get my advice out first.
Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, but just really letting it all go, and also with your judgment. Don't write as if somebody's looking over your shoulder. And I heard that after I had already written God Laughs Too, when I was working on some other books that just were not coming out. But I think I was writing as if somebody's looking over my shoulder. But guess what I did this time? This book came out. So I deleted my Twitter account April 26th. I started writing this book April 27th. It was a great time writing. I wrote through July 12th. That was my first draft finished, and edited several times after that. And you see it's just now coming out when my first draft was finished July 12th last year. But not having Twitter and Facebook, and everybody knows I just got back on Facebook, just got back on Twitter. I think I have like 5 followers on Twitter now versus however many I had before. But not having everybody's voices in my head. These people on social media do not shut the fuck up. Like everything. They got to see about everything all day long. I'm on the toilet. Oh my God. And so having that peace of mind, when I deleted that Twitter account, it's like this whole other area of my brain freed up. And I'm writing some characters. I was like, oh my gosh. And now that I'm back on there, once again, I'm like, okay, let me get on there, because when my first book came out, there was no Twitter, there was no Facebook. You got another book order too, Kato. But now if I do something, as people say, you need social media to promote your stuff. So that's why I'm back on here. But the minute I started a Twitter account, got back on Facebook, I had a headache. It was a headache that only went around this part of my head. And I was like, why does my head feel so heavy? Because I'm back on social media again, watching everybody talk. And that does bother me. So now I have to balance, how do I promote my stuff on Facebook, make myself available to people who might want to chat about the book, have me on their podcast, have me at their store for a sign-in, have me in their restaurant to just or whatever. Just trying to balance that. So that's what I'm doing now. And to answer the question that came up, there won't be necessarily a sequel to this, but I guess you would call it a sequel, but I'll be doing Kaya's story and trying to find out. I really want to know if she's as much of a goody two shoes as she seems like she is in this book. So without giving any spoilers, but I'm trying to see what's up with that.
Okay. All right. Let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, something I definitely want to ask you about. Of the 3 books that you have published thus far, they all 3 have been self-published, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Then I want to ask, you is there a favorite and least part of publishing? What is your favorite and least favorite? Your favorite part and your least favorite part of, I guess, publishing? Because that's especially self-publishing. You kind of independent. But it's good that the internet provides a platform for independence now. It's beautiful that happens. Yeah, I still would ask that.
Well, you know what's funny? The same thing is about what I like about working with T-Mot. So I've been with T-Mot Go-Go since 98. And when we first started doing stuff on the internet, we had a radio show, we had a YouTube channel. I think even before YouTube, we used to do videos and stuff, used to put out DVD magazines. And suppose something was like a lower quality or something like that. And I remember one time I was like, I don't like, it was a video that I had. And I was like, I don't know, I don't like the quality. And you said, this ain't NBC, this is DIY, but you did it, didn't you? And even when I had that show, I was on WIAV 58. You used to get on like a UH channel, right? When I made a comment like, yeah, only like 6 people watched it, but there were people there to tell me like, yeah, but you did it though, right? So having something like this, being able to hold this up and say I wrote it, I can give it to anybody. I can order copies. I can sell them like that, and just kind of keeping in that spirit of what I learned would take me out to the go-go. So if I was back then wanting to write for a magazine, I used to read Essence magazine, Ebony, Jet, all this stuff, wanting to be a magazine writer. It was a man named Kato Hammond who had a magazine he started about go-go music. I talked to you on the phone. You literally said, I don't care if you write about the price of cheese. I want some articles in my magazine. I was like, boom. And I just started kicking you articles and you put them in there. So that's how I came up in my career. Somebody was doing something. Who else is doing something? Cool. Let's all do something. And that's just my mentality for it. And that's what I like the best about it. What I like the least is promotion. So I'm having a really good time making these ads for the book. So I'm just like, I like finding little images and finding little cute stuff to say or trying to entice people to buy it. But having to log on and press the button and all this stuff, it's just like, oh my gosh. because you got to get through all the stuff and people talk about. And at least I don't have as many friends like that. You know, people post like selfies all day or something like that. Are they still doing that? Did people stop with the selfies? Or are they still doing that?
I guess. I don't know. I'm being honest. I guess they do. I mean, it's a new thing. I mean, everything is posted now, and everything is everything now. But everybody's self-promoting itself. That's what they're doing. In many cases now, they have
like I get self-promotion. Yeah, sometimes like it's just a selfie. It's like, okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I may be running a little question, or if anybody who's watching may have any other questions. Is it any other thing you also like to share regarding the this?
Because there's a few of them who are reading the book now. So I'm just wondering, like, if they have questions or comments at this point.
Yeah. They don't want to. We don't want to. As
no
we
spoilers.
Call it, we don't want no spoilers and all that. I thought that I was going to get her to at least read an excerpt. I thought it just would have been phenomenal because I think about when I remember the time I watched Toni Morrison read an excerpt from her book, or the time what's the woman I was trying to think all day, the one who did the I used to love Terry McMillan reading excerpts from her, you know what I'm saying? But I got the hint, and that's why I never asked. I was going to ask you, then I'm like, okay, she's been dropping hints. She's not trying to read an excerpt from it.
I actually pushed it out because you know what I want to hear first? I want to hear why. Like, why is the excerpt a thing? Because like I was saying, I hear her voice in a Southern accent. If I'm reading it, it feels like I'm trying to get that, get into character or something. But what is it about hearing an author read an excerpt that is just, I would just want to know.
Can I tell you what it is? When a matter of fact, I remember hearing Stephen King read an excerpt from one of his Jones before. Wait 1 second. I might have to 1 second. Hold up. You've got to be kidding me. I might have to give me some right quick. I tell you what, do me a favor. I'm respond right quick to Matt for me. Be back in 2 seconds. Can you do that?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
Hey, what's up? It's 99. I'm taking over for the one-on-one. Maya asks, I'm not a writer, but I have written papers and presentations. But what do you need to keep you in your writing space so you can stay focused? Good question, Maya. I turn on, if I'm not playing music, I'd go to YouTube and they have these, it's like rain sounds, like all those different sounds. There's like rain in the forest and stuff like that. And for some reason, hearing the rain sounds on the trees keeps me focused while I'm doing something. I just turned in like a 28-page report on Monday, and I had to stay in focus. It's something about those sounds of rain. And you can pick different other stuff. The Calm app has different things. That's what I would suggest. And I thought music would be it, but I get too into the music and not into my writing. So yeah. All right. He's back.
All right, kaboom! Back on the scene like a wrecking machine. Sorry about that, but I'm here. Let's see what who got the next question. From Moms, who's asking. You see her question?
Yeah. Were you writing? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Were you writing from your life experiences? Did you know those characters?
It's a great question because I thought, like, how me saying this is not how this is supposed to go. My story, I know what it's like. That better be Jesus. My story, I know what it's like to be 32, a recent college graduate, and ain't got no job. And I was already living at my mom's house because she was kind enough to let me live there to go back to school anyway. But I know that's what that's like. Honey, don't play with me because I'll make you come up here and read it. But I have an excerpt ready, and I'm going to do it because y'all show me so much love. So, me saying, do I know the characters? I know the feeling, but by the time it was the end of the second chapter, when I knew she's going off in her own direction, I was like, oh. So I know what it's like to be in that situation. I know what it's like to have a group of friends. Now, when I think back on the summer of 2010, that's when this takes place. I think about my community of Forest Heights. Forest Heights held me down that summer. Now, when I was talking to my therapist, what I told my therapist was how depressed I was, because when I graduated from college at 32, I ain't got no job. That was really depressing. But now when I look back, now that everything's worked out, I got a PhD, things are going well, all I remember is how much fun I had going to the local watering hole, hanging out in people's yards, having cookouts that summer. It was just so much fun. So I know that part. I also know what it's like to go to an HBCU and have, I have this, she has a flashback to her freshman year in college. I know what it's like to, these people over here sell weed. These people over here are, doing this kind of thing. So that kind of stuff. But I can't say, I guess I know, no, I don't know where some of these people came from. And actually, I'll blame my husband as a character in the book. That most of the men who read the book do not like this guy. I don't really like the guy that much. But my husband, Chris, is the one who said, give this girl a backstory. He was like, oh, if you want to add some more to the book, just give her a backstory. And when I started asking her about her backstory, this character came up and I was like, wow. So no, I don't know him. I don't want to know him. And you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. I ain't gonna say that. But I want to answer the question you was asking. Oh, by the way, like I say, sorry for the interrupt. There were some folks who were locked out. They couldn't get in, and I had to go.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
We good.
anyway. But anyway, the answer your question about why it seems like a deal, it's just something inviting. I remember how I used to watch Terry McMillan read excerpts, and that was the only thing that made me really say, oh man, I believe, what was the first one? Wait and Exhale that I read.
Was it Disappearing Acts?
Disappearing Acts. That was the first one that I read of hers. But it was her, it was just her. I can't, it's really hard to explain. It's the same as like Nikki Giovanni, and reading excess of some of hers, it just make you want to embrace it even more, because now that I've heard your voice, the voice of the author reading it, only they can read it with the passion that is really supposed to be. One, so it's not gonna be dry reading. They're gonna, what I'm saying, if it's a funny part, they're gonna say, and then if you don't know what she was, if I'm thinking this, and she must be out of her mind. If you remember how Terry McMillan talks, and she always, in her character, in her story, she was always in her head. So it's really interesting seeing that you just feeling part of the author itself, and I think it draws me in. Even like I remember one time, even though I read her book before I heard her read excerpts from it, but Sister Soldier with the coldest winter ever, and then I heard her the second one that she read, the Midnight Jump. But it's just something about that is like, oh yeah, man, yeah, that's coming. I'm definitely gonna buy that joke. And it's interesting because just our questions alone got Charlene, while we're doing this live, to order a book.
I appreciate that, Charlene.
That is
Thank
like
you
really
so much.
awesome. So just imagine, and remember, this may be live, but as soon as we're finished the interview session, it's going to continuously run it. This staying on the internet forever. You see what I'm saying? So
that makes me feel so much better. Thank you.
Right. Anytime somebody come on, they can, or even
Wonderful.
just, what I'm saying? So just hearing that excerpt, I got a clip of her reading the excerpt from her own book. I didn't get to make it to a reading. If you was doing a reading or a book signing, would you be doing a reading at your book signing? Let me ask you that.
I would hope not unless somebody asked me to, but
Okay.
like I said, I
All
need
right.
somebody to convince me that this is like hearing you say that. I'm like, cool, I'll do it. Because I prepared it and I did like try to practice it today.
Okay. Wow.
Um,
And wow. I didn't. I was like, because I know, boy. Let me tell you something, man. If y'all don't know that, I know Chris definitely knows. But boy, once she's setting her way, that's her, man. She ain't. It's hard to get her to budge another direction. You know what I'm saying? So when I saw that hint from her, I'm like, okay, she gave another clue. She even, quoted us, the conversation. So I'm not even gonna get embarrassed online live. I'm gonna
no, I went over it and over it. Gives fire to the work. Oh.
yes, it
See,
does.
here
It
we
really
go.
does. Tone
See
and
how they be
expression.
slicing me up for this.
Thank you, moms. You see what I'm saying? Thank you so much. That is so true.
And my next book is entitled The
And,
Size Up.
and that Charlene say brings many awareness to many who would love to write books. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. All right.
Okay. And
Wait a
best
minute.
of luck, Charlene, with your books too. Chris Page, hey. Uh-oh.
What's up, Chris Page? All right. Okay. And Chris Page, just right quick. We still dancing like David. Remember that?
Dance like David dance.
Dancing like
Dance like
David
David
dance. Yeah, we still
dance.
doing that. So.
Okay, so I'm gonna do this.
All
Okay,
right.
you ready?
Okay. Yeah. Hold up. Wait a minute. Well, before you even do that,
Yeah, put the thing up on screen.
I'm trying to. How do I do? Okay. Oh, I know what to do. Wait a minute.
All right, and I got to introduce why I'm reading this part too. I didn't mean put me on the screen. I thought I was gonna put the book up. Yeah. All right. So
yeah,
anyway,
the book.
okay. So I'm gonna intro when I'm reading. So when you read the first chapter of this book, this girl, you see by the end of the first chapter, she has her eyes set on this guy named Junior. He's a guy she grew up with. She's trying to make herself feel better. Like I said, she's on a summertime. I'm gonna use the letter D. She's on a summertime D mission to make herself feel better. By the end of the second chapter, she has her sights set on somebody else completely different. So this is how that happens. So all right. I didn't take into account that I've lived away from my old neighborhood for almost 12 years. I can't possibly know who's been smashing who as I roll through town on a summertime D mission. Well, there's one thing this overachiever is good at: competition. Sex is the easiest thing I have ever gotten, but in this case, I want to be the only summertime boo. Junior is walking over with my drink when he answers his phone. He hands me my amaretto and keeps walking to the door. I look around and see what other men this bar has to offer. Junior is not the only game in town. Why am I acting like the summer D has to be his? Gene yells out another name: Dinko. I turn and look at the guy walking toward us. I am immediately stricken, struck. I think my heart stopped. Not too slim, coming off almost muscular, and his shoulders are broad enough for me to imagine my legs up on him. Neat, thick dreadlocks that aren't too neat, but just right. I can taste his brown skin from here. Lord, my stomach flipped. How was this person just walking the streets looking this good? I need to look away. He daps all the brothers sitting around us. He pauses at me as if he was about to give me dap, but thought better of it. That's Roshan, says Jean. She from around the way. He gives me a backwards nod. What's up? He sits down right across from me and I can smell him. Cocoa butter lotion on his skin, oil in his locks. He turns away from me to talk to one of the guys. Thank God, now I can breathe. I'm going to need another drink now. Where is Junior? My gaze slides from the bar to the door. When I look back at the people I'm sitting with, that one guy who warned me about Junior is just glancing away from me. Shit, what's more embarrassing? The thought of him catching me thunderstruck by this dingo person, or him catching me looking for Junior? Jean comes to my rescue again. Ro, you smoke? I do tonight, I blurted. That's the amaretto. Without even making me feel drunk, it just takes all the inhibition away. The parking lot is its own little party, complete with a thumping bass from somebody's ride. People are sitting on cars, lounging and smoking. As we watch Junior, Gene, and Silas put a big dude in the front seat of Junior's truck, Dinko lights a cigarette, standing right beside me. I am going to effing melt right into the effing ground. Can he feel me feeling him? I'm doing all kinds of telepathy. I'm making mental pictures of us orgasming together and sending them directly into his mind. I sip my drink, knowing that the drunk guy in the passenger seat is not the only reason I won't be exchanging sexual comforts with Junior tonight. Junior, who? I want whatever this dinko is dealing. Are you happy?
Oh, sucky now. Yeah. See.
And that's how she.
Oh yeah. All right. See, and look here. I appreciate
It's
you.
not my facial expression. I'm told you, I'm trying to break through. She has a southern accent. I need somebody who's like from and scene. I need somebody who's like from Texas to do this.
Yeah, it would sound really. Yeah. Now that you mention it, I do hear that little southern accent that just makes it even more, Yeah.
Hey, Ed.
Ed, look what Ed said.
You have to read the rest, Ed. It's a little too much. Can't do that on tape. Thank you, Charlene. I appreciate it.
Man, yeah, you did. That was really, yeah.
Oh.
That's
Mark talking about facial expressions. I was like, I don't know. It was all in her head, so she was trying to play cool, I believe.
Yeah. No, it was on point, and wow, and that was probably one of my most favorite scenes too. But
really,
yeah, just like I say, a lot of times is when the character is in her head, based on what's in her head and talking about what's going on around her. Those are the things that really draw me in, So
yeah. The mostly safe for work stuff, right? Mostly.
Right. So let's see. I may be like I say, I may be out of question if there's any more questions. Yeah, man, I think I'm tapped out question wise. And we done an hour and 3 minutes. Wow, okay.
Oh, nice. You know how we do.
Yeah,
oh Lord, we used to do
yeah,
2 hours.
I know. I was scared. I was like, man, what the hell are we gonna talk about?
It's gonna be a couple hours.
Right.
But I guess I know
but,
our audience has places to be. I don't want to pressure them to keep listening. I got my bourbon, so I'm fine.
Hey, Bill.
A text withdrawal is actually rather subtle. Right. Dan Rather used to see. Okay, Bill, your point. This is what I was telling. Who was that? I was talking to my mom about this because I was saying how people try to really force a Southern accent when they do stuff. But most people I know with Southern accents, is almost like part of it is them covering it up depending on who they're around. They're not trying to sound so Southern. And that's kind of like part of the accent. So anyway, I'll find the right person to do it. And thanks for checking in.
Thanks, Charlene. Cool. Thanks forever. Yeah, this is cool. And like I say, after this, after we done here, because we're gonna let her, get to her time and me, my time, and you guys out there, your time. I'm glad everybody, tuned in. And like I said, you can share it. It's on. We're streaming on live on YouTube. As you can see, people are commenting from YouTube as well as they're commenting from Facebook, which is interesting because I think this is the first time that I've been able to receive comments from both platforms. A lot of times the YouTube comments wouldn't come in, so that's really cool. That's just so how it was supposed to be where it's supposed to be.
So, exactly. And make sure anybody out there, you know how they make fun of people now who have podcasts and stuff. I love doing, like, if somebody can, we can do this. I can sit here and have an interview with anybody who has, something they guess for. Just go ahead and hit me up. I'm busy most Tuesdays and Thursday nights, but I can make time. So just let me know.
Okay. And as you see, If you get maybe take a screenshot. Like I said, this is still gonna be up there with Chris is putting the list, the Amazon link up for that. And I just know everybody who haven't checked the book out yet, check it out. Believe me, you're gonna enjoy it. Um, I'll vouch for that. Well, I
I
recommend
appreciate
it.
that.
You know,
Yes, thank you for doing that too. Thank you. Tell men they'll like it too. And Tia go tell
yeah,
all the
dudes,
dudes they like it.
dudes are definitely gonna like it. There's no question. And before we roll out, though, I still want to once again just remind everybody who this person is, and so you never forget. All right.